All right. Before we talk about the good, though, we have to address the bad. And the bad is that we continue to come out in the third quarter. I'm not really sure what the answer is, but we've got to get the answer. I thought we'd done a great job in the first half of controlling our turnovers. We were excellent defensively, I thought, in the first two quarters, and then in the third quarter, because of our turnovers, we struggled, and I think we had 17 points in the third, and a lot of those was we didn't give ourselves an opportunity to get shots at the basket because of our turnovers. Now, that being said, if you look at the positives, there was a ton of positives there. Number one, I thought the way we started the game, obviously we got behind. They made a bunch of threes. I think they were 4 for 6 to start the game. I thought we just weathered the storm. We thought that they're not that great a shooting team, and we were trying to protect the paint as much as we could with Porzingis' post up. So, but I thought we approached it the same way, and then obviously down the stretch, I thought the guys did a great job of managing the game and executing and getting exactly where they were supposed to be. And obviously, Mezzi made a big shot out of the corner, but it was Fox's assist that really made the play. He turned the corner and went so quickly that we felt like if he was going to the basket, and it's just a natural, it's just a natural reaction that, the weak side corner guy pulls in. And so we had talked about if it's not there, the layup, or if you see somebody all the way in, then maybe look to the corner.
Coach, obviously you took us through that play right there, but when you saw that it was Mezzi in front of their bench, just kind of what's going through your own mind in that moment?
You don't want to know. No, he had shot the ball well tonight. He had made a couple of threes. Fox made the right play. It was the right play. I asked Foxy, what was going through his mind, and he said, I was going to either dunk it and try to get to the line, or maybe even get an M1, or if I saw them pull in so far, then I was going to try to hit the corner guy.
What did you say to the team after the game?
That, obviously we got some things to clean up, and I appreciate them hanging in. And, there was a debate, should we foul, should we not foul, but we were going to have almost 5 seconds to go. And so we just said, we're going to get a stop, so let's not foul. And we had enough timeouts. We had a timeout left, so that would work in our favor also. So that's why we didn't foul, because I think it was at 28-7 or something. I can't remember, but I think it was something like that. And we figured that if we got to stop, we'd have enough time to get a shot up.
Alvin, there's a lot of talk around here about leadership and, who is and who isn't. Do you see some of the little things that Fox does, like pulling Tyrese aside and telling him to shoot more, or trusting a teammate like he did with Metu tonight, as one of the ways that he actually leads?
Yeah, I think so. As I said to you guys the other day, everybody is not a real vocal leader, you don't have to be a rah-rah guy, but I think our guys know that they can depend on him, number one, and that he's going to make the right play, and he's also a very bright basketball mind. So and we talk a lot about where do you like the ball, or where do you want it, or hey, let's take advantage of the fact that they've got a smaller guy on you and things like that. So as I said, everybody is not a rah-rah type leader, but that doesn't mean that they're not a good leader.
Alvin, another double-double for over here.
Oh.
another double-double for Tyrese. Just sort of big picture, you talk about consistency a lot. In terms of the way he's playing right now, is this the most consistent you've seen from him since he's come in the league? And what growth, what steps have you seen him take in terms of his growth?
I think by far it's the most consistent he's played, and I think it's like anything else. He's figuring out the league. He knows what he can be good at. He knows where he can get his shots from. The guys understand that if they roll and get to open areas, he's going to find them. So all of those things are really good. And obviously, if you go back over the last 6 games and look and see what he's done, the consistency has been there. From the standpoint of assists and shooting the basketball. I like the fact that he wasn't afraid to take the big shot. I mean, he had one that kind of went in and out on him, but the fact that he was willing to take it, I think, is growth in itself.
Alvin, congrats on the win, sir. When a team has been through as much as you guys have been through, just in multiple aspects of life and basketball, what does a moment like this mean for a group like this, given where they've been?
I think the main thing that we talked about is like Rico Hines always talk about, stacking days, stacking wins, stacking, progression, really, of moving up. So the only thing we talked about is that we talked about stacking days and getting better at it. And, the other thing is, like, I thought tonight, defensively, we did a great job. Longo did a couple of things to kind of initiate us being a lot more aggressive. We decided that we would trap some of the screen and rolls, that we would switch 1 through 5, and then we would what we call scram guys out to get a bigger guy on Porzingis if we were switching our smaller guys on. I thought our game plan was great defensively, and the fact that we changed up some things to really activate our guys early on, I think really helped also. And so, kudos to Longo for doing that also.
Hey, Alvin, Chimezi had just moved to the bench this game. He hadn't been shooting great from distance this season. I wonder, is there any sort of conversation you had to him as you made that transition? And then in the final play there, was it an easy decision to have him be the last guy out there, or what was kind of your thought process there? And was there any conversation as he was going out there?
We did go back and forth on that. We thought about putting, someone else in, but, just instinctively, we decided to go with Mezzi. We thought that also that, there may be an opportunity for a lob situation if it came down to that. So, he made a big shot for us. And the thing that I like most is that he shot it with confidence. And so either it goes in or it didn't go in. The fact that he shot it with the confidence that he did, I think is the thing that matters most.
All right, we'll go ahead and take the last question on Zoom. Christos?
Hello, Coach. Congratulations on the win. Speaking about Neto's game, and especially if we look back in his last season and the injury that he had and how he works after that injury, how big was that moment for him, from your perspective?
Well, I mean, obviously it's his biggest moment in the NBA, to make a game-winning shot. There's a lot of guys that go through a lot of NBA games that are never in a situation where they make a game-winning buzzer shot. So it's good for him. But, I'm happy for him because he is a kid that works his butt off. He's in here first thing in the morning. He'll stay afterwards and put in the work. He's harder on himself than we are on him, which he's got to get by that. But he wants to be a good player and he's willing to put in the work to do it. So you should see how happy our guys were for him in the locker room. I mean, he is a guy that is well liked on this team because they know that he put in the work.